McGraw in the Morning continues on the Big 550 KTRS.
9:43. Let's go back to the phones. We've got Bob. Bob, sorry about that. Welcome to the Big 550 KTRS.
McGraw?
Yes, sir. You're on the air.
Oh, okay. I lost you there for a second. The guy that before talking about the gun show laws, if you buy it from a dealer, you may have to do that. But if I walk in there with my gun in my pocket because I have a conceal and carry right, I can sell it to any yahoo I want for $50 or $500. That's what they're talking about in that selling guns, at the gun shows. I mean, you go there, everybody's got their gun, they're carrying it around, and if somebody makes them an offer, they sell it to them, no questions asked. That's what the problem is. I just don't understand, and he's worried about his freedom to sell. Good Lord.
Well, wait a minute. So wait a minute. You're telling me that a dealer at a gun show has to go through the same background check?
I think, yeah, when the dealer sells it. But if I have one in my pocket, when I walk in because I have a right to carry a gun,
right,
I can sell it to him just like I would sell it if somebody came to my house and wanted to buy it out of my living room.
Right.
I can sell it to him, and I got a bill of sale, and he's got the gun, and there's no background check.
Right, but he's saying that if you sell it to a guy who has a felon, then you're the one who's wrong, and you're the one who should be prosecuted.
Well, and maybe you should, but you're not. There's no law against you selling it to anybody you want.
Right, and then the other question is how do you go track it and find it?
Sure,
right.
They're just running all over creation,
right.
And then the next guy sold it, and the next guy, so there's no checking on it. It's just crazy. It's very frustrating when you talk to about this thing with the guns. It's just crazy.
Bob, thanks for the phone call.
Sure,
you got it. Dave, line 2, you're on KTRS Radio. I did it again. Dave, call up. I'll get you on. Dave, sorry about that. Let me drop Dave and go to Tim. Tim, you are on KTRS Radio.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Narside thing. The only problem I have with giving this guy all this money and everything is we did the same thing back in the 70s with the Purcell Group and Civic Digress with Laclede Landing.
Right.
We gave him a $3 million bond issue, and in return we were supposed to get multiple retail stores, Schnuck supermarket, the multi-level movie theater, and everything else down there. We got 4 bars and a arcade museum instead.
Well, look, I don't know if the landing is that bad, but I was actually rode my bike there the other day on Saturday or Sunday, and it was literally packed.
Well, yeah, there's things to do down there, but what he promised and what we paid for, we didn't get. And what this guy in the Northside is doing, is great. I think it's a great idea. And he's promising like $30 million worth of business and $20 million worth of retail and all this other stuff, which is great. Even if he just clears the land and plants grass, it'd be an improvement up there.
Right.
But
right.
We're paying a lot more for this than
we're not paying. Well, yeah, look, it's pretty convoluted, and the whole tax increment financing and the tax credits and all that type of stuff. Hey, you know what? Somebody's doing something.
Yeah.
Because it looks like war-torn Berlin in 1945.
Yeah. Right. And all I'm saying is we need to make sure somebody's watching this time.
Right. Tim, thanks for the phone call.
Sure.
Appreciate it. All right, now Dave is back. Dave, are you there? You're on KTRS Radio.
Thank you very much. I have a point of a question.
Sure.
If it passes the Senate, doesn't it have to go to the House?
Yes, it does.
And then they're probably banking on being able to chop it up worse over there?
Well, who's banking on that?
The NRA.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Well, 90% of the people are in favor of some type of universal background check. So it's pretty hard for a politician to say no to 90%, but we'll see what happens in the House. I still think this has a long way to go, but I don't see the House doing anything. That's why I've always thought this was a fool's errand, but we are getting some type of deal out of the Senate.
Yeah, my beliefs are that none of the politicians want to vote against this because of the situation they'll be put in.
Right. No, you're exactly right. All you have to do is look at 60 Minutes on Sunday, and see those grieving parents standing while the Connecticut legislature walked in to vote on their gun laws. I don't know how anybody can say no to a mother holding a picture of a 6-year-old little boy who was murdered by that guy. It's pretty hard to say no to that, even if you are a gun-loving, NRA-waving guy. Let me say this before we take a quick break. I had a chance to talk to, and I'm not going to mention a name, but I was talking to somebody very prominent in the TIF world. And they told me that one of the things that these people pull the wool over our eyes with is this, that the developer or the city council comes and says, we need TIF money because if we don't, this won't be built, right? That's the idea. So you go and you say, this project would never work unless we get this government subsidy. However, so they get it, it's built, and the project is widely successful. So successful that they pay off the bonds and everything else years early, right? So the question is, they really didn't need the TIF in the first place. If it was so widely successful, they didn't need it. So why not put in some type of clawback provision at the end to say, okay, look, we've now, after the project hasn't built and it's been up and running, and now wait a minute, your projections were so low that you didn't need the extra sales tax revenue. So wait a minute, we're going to ding you X, Y, and Z. There's never a complete the circle at the end to say, hey, wait a minute, your projections were so low that you said you needed the financing, but now it turns out you didn't need the financing. So why did we do this in the first place? There's never a settlement at the end. 950 here on the Big 550 KTRS. Though all those home improvement shows, you always see them redo the hardwood floors. Why is that? Because it's an inexpensive way to build some value in your house. Everybody loves hardwood floors, and everybody will love Boardwalk hardwood floors. 3 locations, Manchester, St. Peter's, and in Crestwood. 3 locations. Direct from the factory means better prices for you. Boardwalk Hardwood Floors is a locally owned company, so they're not dealing, you don't have to subsidize their nationwide ad campaign, and you don't have to subsidize all their factories all across the country. Boardwalk Hardwood Floors buys direct from the factory, so they get a cheaper price, and they can pass that all on to you. If you've seen it, they've got it. They have a great selection of colors as well as styles, so walk into one of their 3 locations and pick out your hardwood floors. You can install it yourself. They'll teach you how to do it, or you can find a qualified installer to do it for you. Either way, you're going to get great hardwood floors, and you're going to do it at a fraction of the cost. You can build some equity in the house. 314-730-3100. That's 314-730-3100 or boardwalkhardwood.com.